All right, guys, welcome back to episode number 36 of the Not So Serious Life. I am JG, Jason Goldberg. That is Stephen Douglas Chandler. I hope I'm not right. Don't tell me if I'm right because we don't want to know. And we are so excited to be back with you for the Not So Serious Life. Steve, what is going on?
Hey, good to see you. Listen, Jason, I want to tell you something. I got this really great card from our friend Arminda,
Oh,
who
yeah.
you and I know really well. I wanted
Oh,
to
yeah.
show it to you.
Let me see it. Oh, God, isn't that the truth? Life is too important to be taken seriously.
Oscar Wilde.
Oscar Wilde. I bet people are watching this like clapping right now because they're like, yes, that is what I needed to hear.
Thank you, Arminda.
Thank you, Arminda, for sharing that. That's awesome. Arminda's fantastic. She's hilarious and she dresses really well.
Well, that's the least of it. She's a great coach,
She
she's a great
is.
speaker, and she sings beautifully.
She does sing, and so does her daughter. A lot of talent in that
Yeah,
family. Yeah,
yeah.
awesome. Very cool. So happy to be back with you guys. And again, we are foregoing the cereal boxes. And something else based on viewer concern is they didn't want me wearing button-down shirts anymore. They think that that's just too serious. Although I like my button-down shirts. And you know what, Steve? You're in Arizona. I'm in North Carolina. It's going to get cold here pretty soon, and I'm going to have to wear some button-down shirts.
Well, yeah, and I think you should go with what feels right for you and then just take the humiliation and abuse as it comes.
And the
That's
ridicule.
Well,
Yeah.
that will strengthen your character.
It will. Well, I'm wearing a polo today so that we can match, so we're good. So, okay, so again, no more cereal boxes. We're jumping right into the question for today for episode number 36. And the question is this. This question comes from Jan, and Jan asks, how do you release resentment once and for all? She says, I have a very hard time releasing resentment. I know I'm only hurting myself by holding on to this resentment, yet my mind keeps going back to it. Some days I allow it to hang over me like a dark cloud. What advice do you have for me to move on and let go of this once and for all? So how do you release resentment once and for all?
I
Yeah.
defer, I defer to you on
Okay.
this.
Yeah. So, the first thing I thought of when I heard this, and this is something that I've, had to work on a lot for myself and with my clients is, first of all, just not making it wrong that we feel that way. Right? So you feel some resentment. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to make that emotion wrong because I think a lot of times, what's that saying? What you resist persists. Right? So we don't have to have all this resistance to the fact that we feel some resentment. But at the same time, it goes back to the magical question, does it serve you? Right? To hold on to this resentment, does it serve you? And what else could you be doing with your energy and your focus that would serve you? Right? So it's kind of about just getting creative and saying, listen, even if I feel the resentment, it's not a bad thing. It doesn't make me a bad person or a stupid person or I'm not doing anything wrong. But what would maybe serve me more? And so resentment and disappointments and those things like that typically come from expectations, right? And we've talked a lot about that, expectations versus agreements that you put together and all that. So it's like if we get rid of the expectations that we have of ourselves or of others, then a lot of times the resentment just goes away because there's nothing to be resentful of. So for me to get rid of, I don't know about releasing resentment once and for all. I think it's a moment by moment, a choice that happens on a per situation basis. But to not hold on to resentment in any given moment or for any given situation, I think it's just to recognize that if it doesn't serve you, there's something else you can be doing more creatively with your energy, and to recognize that it's probably just based on some expectation that doesn't need to be there in the first place.
I like that
Yeah.
very much. I've shared this in my books and other places that I've been in 12-step recovery from alcoholism, and it was the greatest gift to my life. This program of recovery. One of the things that's very important in the program is that we not carry resentments, because what they found over time for addicts and alcoholics is that if we hold too many resentments, we will drink again and use again, because resentments are really kill the spirit, and they rob you of your optimism, and they rob you of your good cheer and energy. They're just so poisonous. So there's a very active program there for releasing resentments. I'm not saying the what's our questioner's name?
Jan.
Jen. I'm not saying Jen should see if she can become an alcoholic and then go into the program and learn these processes. But one of them is very counterintuitive,
What is it?
and that is to pray for the person that you resent and pray for their happiness and well-being, and meditate upon the innocence of that person, and how whatever it is they're doing that you resent, that they're doing it in all innocence. They're doing the best they can, and that you would do that thing too if you were believing what they were believing. That if you were there, if you were in their mind, that would look like a perfectly natural thing to do, the thing you resent. Meditate on that and then pray for the person. And in many cases, resentments would just float away with that. And there are many other systems.
Yeah.
Another, like you mentioned in a previous show, is the system of inquiry, which is I want to ask whether what the person did was really intended to hurt me. And whether it was really knowingly wrong, and whether that person really should not have done that, or whether I'm just not understanding their world. And that's another way. So there are many other ways too, but it's a great thing to bring up. It's a great thing to work on. And Katie's book, Loving What Is, will really help with that. And Martin Seligman's book, Learned Optimism, will really help with that. He has a system for challenging pessimistic thoughts.
Yeah, I love that. And, even what you said, Steve, it just something came up for me when you were saying that. Even if the person that did something to you, if their intentions were negative, they were hurtful, even for them, that's coming from them being afraid or them being angry or them being worrisome or whatever it is. And it really isn't about us. It's them expressing whatever they're expressing, like you said, the best way they know how to, based on what they know, based on what they believe. So, the whole not making ourselves wrong for feeling resentment, that goes both ways, that we don't have to make them wrong for however they acted. They're doing the best they can, like we all are.
Good.
Cool. I love that. That was really cool, man. I love it. Thanks very much for sharing that. And yeah, Learned Optimism, fantastic. Loving What Is, fantastic. Yeah, great stuff. So check those out. So guys, don't forget to send your questions into questions@thenotsoseriouslife.com and go sign up for our inner circle so you can get some free stuff at thenotsoseriouslife.com. As Steve is feverishly looking for something to show us. Are you not going to show us anything? Oh, forget it. All right, this is episode number 36, and we will see you guys really soon. Have a fantastic day. Love you, mean it. Peace.
Peace.